There we go. Should be recording now. Hello, my name is Apollo, and I kind of wanted to just put together something for the major qualifier, the Eleague qualifier for the Eleague major in Atlanta. And it is currently round 3 just finished with, of course, FaZe making it to the major by beating out Immortals in the 3rd round, as I explicitly clarified already. But you know what? I thought that I would make a video discussing my predictions for round 4. And I definitely believe that, round 4 is when things start to kind of heat up a little bit, and we're going to see a bunch of teams exit out of the qualifier and a bunch of teams, make it to the majors. So the 4th round is kind of the decider for a bunch of teams, and extremely exciting. So I thought I'd bring you the breakdown of just my opinions, what I think's going to happen, my predictions, whatnot. And, of course, the first game's going to be, Optic Gaming versus Hellraisers. And this matchup is kind of interesting. Kind of initial reaction is that, Optic are probably just going to body the shit out of Hellraisers, I think. Unless, I don't know, Hellraisers has some insane showing from all of its players, kind of like they did in their first game versus Mouse. I think it was a 16-6 on... Was it Train? I can't remember. It's kind of important, but it might have been. It was over Pastor Train. I think. I can't remember. But in that game, you had Sticko, Bondic, and Dead Fox just kind of, going ham, and then of course versus NIP in the overtime game, you had Dead Fox just bodying people with the AWP. So unless you have some really, balanced showing by the entire team, I think, Optic's security is almost, just certain at that point. And by security, I, of course, mean that, Optic can pretty much rely on at least a couple of its players, just performing each game, it seems. I mean, today versus NIP, you had Rush just completely demolish them, and then of course you had their second game versus FaZe, where Tarek was still showing some positives, and then of course you had the first game versus Tyloo, and then you had Stanisol and Nafly. So for Optic Gaming, there doesn't really seem to be a weak link at this point. It just feels like, Optic Gaming are going to go in. It's probably going to end up on Overpass or Train, probably most likely Train. I think it's the one map where statistically both of these teams kind of will end up eventually. So yeah, I'm expecting, Optic versus HR on Train, and I expect Optic to, kind of easily take that one and thus qualify for the major. I have to say I am kind of an Optic fanboy, but purely objectively, and I think if we just look at recent events, I mean, Optic have been stellar, the past month or couple of months. I think just a month. They made 3 finals, 1, 2. I mean, they're just rocking and rolling, So can't take that away from them, and I think Optic are just gonna win that game. Simply put, the next game is gonna be Dignitas versus G2. Now, Dignitas versus G2 is an interesting matchup. Yes, there's definitely the potential that G2 kind of come out swinging and maybe, throw, Dignitas off their game somewhat, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that G2, first of all, they've played quite a bit of Dust 2 this qualifier, right? And they've seemed to have quite some success on that map. But at the same time, I don't think Dignitas is going to let G2 play on Dust 2. And pretty much what we've seen from this qualifier is Shulks being the absolute god that he is. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not even human. But yeah, we've seen Shulks be the god that he is. I mean, RPK has, gone back to being the goddamn tank, just easily taking care of people, just scalping players left and right. So there is potential that G2 come out swinging and maybe, throw Dignitas for a loop. I mean, we definitely saw, Godsent being the superior team versus Dignitas, so and that was with Dignitas having quite a strong start as well on Mirage, which is one of Dignitas's, favored maps. So Dignitas might have been kind of shaky, or it was just Godsent, completely just murking the entire qualifier, being, of course, the first team to make it a 3-0 and qualify for the majors. So who knows there. I definitely, though, think that Dignitas is going to take it. In terms of maps, where it could end up, Cobblestone maybe? Be a first, right, this qualifier? I missed a few games the first day, but I think that'd be the first Cobble game, if I'm not mistaken, which is interesting that nobody's played Cobble with the teams that we have currently. Well, to be fair, there's no... I mean, SK seem to do fairly well on it. There's VP... But I feel like NIP haven't played it yet, and the NIP are kind of... I mean, this is a slight tangent, but NIP feel, for some reason, that they feel extremely comfortable on Overpass. Maybe they've just been unlucky when it comes to the randomizer, but for some reason, NIP have just been trying to grind out Overpass. I mean, they tried it versus Hellraisers. Oh, whoops. The Optic game was on Overpass. No luck there. Or was it? I think it was. Yeah, it was. Right? Yeah, it was. Anyways, goddamn tangent. I think basically Dig is going to probably take it versus G2 unless you have, just everyone on G2, just come out swinging and performing, which I don't think is going to happen because, first of all, Smiths is on the roster, and, I don't want to throw too much shade his way, but, I mean, he's not a good professional player, in my opinion, and he hasn't been for quite some time now. I mean, you have a standard performance by Body. I mean, Scream hopefully can, come in, pop some heads, and you have Shulks just being godlike and RPK being that tank. Then, yeah, they might have a chance versus Dig, but I think Dig coming in with that structure, even though it's wearing kind of thin, considering their schedule, I think that Dignitas, because they have, in my opinion, the stronger players in terms of consistency, and lately in the form of Magisk Boy and Config, I think they're just gonna come in swinging and just take G2 down. I think that's what's gonna happen, and that is my prediction. So, thus, Dignitas qualifies. After that, we have this matchup, which is Envy versus Tyloo. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not that well versed when it comes to Tyloo and the whole Asian style of Counter-Strike. I mean, yes, it's kind of different, but I don't think stylistically, apart from some of the things they showed on Mirage, I don't think, Tyloo are showing some kind of exotic, strategy that they bring from their region. I think, it's pretty standard. It seems that Tyloo pretty much want to play, from what I've seen, kind of ish like pick based. I mean, they're trying to out-skill and outmatch their opponents mechanically, apart from like some pretty interesting set strats, which might work versus Envy. I mean, they're not a very structured team. I mean, from what we've seen here, it's Happy. He's just clutching and he's, going ham along with Apex. And, they managed to grind out that one win versus Spirit right today. So, I mean, considering the one win Envy have this tournament, I mean, it's a weak one for sure. They were kind of lucky in that regard. I do think they were kind of lucky to get Tyloo in this drawing because, I mean, they could have gotten NIP. They could have gotten Cloud9, and all of a sudden, wow, that's incredibly interesting. But yeah, it seems that the RNG has blessed us as viewers of Counter-Strike with round 4 because we could have had a situation where, NIP plays Cloud9 or NIP plays Envious or Envious plays Cloud9, but instead, RNG said, you know what, all you three have a bone, Nip versus Vega, Envy versus Tyloo, Cloud9 versus CLG. Let's, have some interesting teams get a shot at qualifying for the goddamn major. I mean, the major itself is already a shitstorm in terms of, the teams that have legend status already. So, RNGesus was kind to us this time. Although I will say that Optic versus Nip drawing, fuck, dude. But yeah, I mean, to put it, simply, I mean, this is probably going to end up on some pick-based map. I think, like, Dust 2 might be a thing. I don't actually know if Tyloo play it. But, if it's a Dust 2, holy shit. Throw your prediction in the hat, and then we'll just raffle that thing up and see what the hell comes out. Because, honestly, I don't really know. With Envy looking... Like, the thing about Envy is, like, Apex goes off, and yeah, sure, they can get it. But then they can have games where, nobody's doing anything, and they don't have that structure to kind of rely on grinding out victories when they're not hitting shots. So even though I am going with Envy for this prediction, this is a shaky one. This is a difficult one, for sure, no doubt. Then after that, we have NIP Ninjas in Pajamas versus Vega Squadron, or whatever the hell. Yeah, Vega. Now, I don't even know if I want to kind of explain my prediction here. I just think NIP are going to come in and, there's already been one CIS region team that denied NIP a spot in the major. I don't think it's going to be Vega, and I don't think it's going to happen again, at least not in this round. So, you know what? I think NIP are just going to take it. I mean, I don't know enough about Vega to know statistically what kind of vetoes they would go for, but NIP, for Christ's sake, they said that Train would be kind of one of their best maps coming in, or I think Pith was the one to say that Train is going to be one of their strongest maps. And even though it seems like CIS teams are kind of strong on Train, I think NIP should just be able to come in on... I mean, at the end of the day, I think they come in on any map and just body them, but it would be so tragic if they, for some reason lost on Overpass again, and they just, for some reason, insist on playing that map. I mean, I don't think they've proven yet that there's some form of, some kind of strong Overpass team. Yeah, they had some success on it with Michaelele, but that's just because Michaelele used to sit up on that A site, and he has that explosive playstyle, which lets him, get very interesting picks, and it makes it a bit more mercurial, both on their CT and T side. So you know what? I don't think that's gonna happen with Pith. I think Pith is too much of a, what would you call it? I mean, consistent player, steady player for that kind of just rowdy playmaking kind of, I don't know, rabbit out the hat type of win condition. So I think they have to find something that fucking works and go for that, pardon the language. But yeah, I just think NIP are going to come out and body Vega on whatever map it is. I don't feel like I need to explain further than that. Then we have Cloud9 versus CLG. Oh, and that also means that Vega are going to exit out of the major qualifier, and also previously it means that if Envy win, Tyloo will exit out of the major qualifier, and thus they will not be having a spot in the major. Now, when it comes to this domestic matchup, Cloud9 versus CLG, I mean, CLG have had some flashes of, I don't want to call it brilliance, but some flashes of, I don't know, mediocrity. That's kind of harsh, but there has been situations in which, you know, Cutler and Kusta have looked stellar. They've looked really strong, but it just kind of collapses around the, you know, the entire team structure. I mean, if you look at CLG, you know, there's not a lot of substance there apart from every now and again you'll have a couple players making some impact plays. That's about it. I mean, CLG, to me, I don't see anything bright in CLG's future with this roster. I mean, it's a wonder that they're even in this qualifier, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, for Christ's sake, they kind of look like some just random NA team that, you know, is playing ESEA, the one below Invite, the ES, whatever it is, the one under Pro League, the really shitty one. They look like a team that, you know, belongs there, kind of. It's sad, I know, but that's just my opinion. I think that Cloud9, I mean, even though, you know, it's probably going to end up being automatic, just completely murking the crap out of CLG. I mean, for Christ's sake, he's dropped pretty much 330 bombs. I mean, he had 29, then he had 30 and 31. I mean, automatic is going to come in and just completely disassemble CLG, and that's going to be it. I mean, honestly, from what we've seen, it doesn't seem like, you know, Stewie is... It doesn't feel like the Asian duo anymore. It feels like, you know, actually lately, Shroud and, you know, even Ska has had a couple plays, even though I think his performance lately has been kind of inexcusable. I think that very recently, at least in this tournament, it feels like, you know, it's shifting from that Stewie automatic to automatic being just this freaking demigod sent down by Zeus from, you know, the fucking Mount Olympus, and he's coming down into the server and he's just completely just driving over people. He's just crashing into them. He has a tank and everybody else has, I don't know, fucking pitchfork or some shit. That's basically what Automatic's doing, this major qualifier. And then you have kind of like Nothing and Shroud and Ska and even Stewie, you know, coming in with a couple plays here and there to kind of even things out. But yeah, it just feels like Automatic is in another league at the moment when it comes to that roster. But I will take Cloud9 to win that game. Pretty sure they will. And that, of course, means that CLG are going to be out of the tournament. They will not be going to the major again. Trust me. Not this year, at least. Not with this roster. Now, the last game. And whoever wins this qualifies for the major. And, I mean, I just think Immortals are going to win. I don't really know how else to look at this. I know that Mouse are probably not going to play Dust 2. I don't think Immortals is going to let that happen. I mean, you know, it might end up being... Oh, shit, what do Mouse like to play? Train, maybe? I think Immortals probably would like to... No, this could be actually a cash game now that I think of it. Yeah, actually, I think it might end up Mouse versus Immortals on cash if the randomizers, give us any luck, and I think Immortals qualify. I think it's as simple as that. I think, Mouse Sports had kind of an easy route here. They ended up in the first round getting probably the easiest team in the entire bracket, being, Spirit. Then they lost to... Let me see. They lost to... Who the hell did they lose to? Damn. Can't remember who they lost to. Hellraisers? No. Because in the second round, that would be false. That would be very false. Wait. Alright, let me just check this. I might edit this out. I might not. But I just want to check. Because I'm fairly... Round 2, Mouse... No, in round 2, they beat Spirit. Okay, so Mouse Sports in the first round... Right, they lost their first game to Hellraisers. Then they got Team Spirit, won that game. And then in round 3, which was today, they got Tai Lu. So, I mean, route to potentially qualifying in round 4... pretty goddamn easy compared to Immortals. They had FaZe in there. I believe they had Vega though in the first round or whatever the hell it was. And then they beat. Let's see. Who did Immortals beat in the first round? God damn it, screwing up. See, I'm not big on Immortals either, so. Can't remember. They beat Envious, right? They beat Envious. Right, that was like one of the first games. So, I mean, well, yeah, Envious is whatever, in my opinion. It is what it is. But I definitely think that Immortals had, a bit more brawn when it comes to the challenges they faced getting to this opportunity. So I think Immortals is definitely going to beat Mouse. I think it's going to end up probably on Cash or some map, and I think that Phelps, and I mean, everyone seems to have kind of showed up for Immortals. I mean, Lucas had that one game versus Vega where he just completely just destroyed them. It wasn't even fun to watch. He just, demolished them. He had that game, and then you basically just have Phelps being kind of a sure bet that he's going to show up, and you have the explosivity, I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm going to use it, of Henny, and Bolt's kind of being that standard, kind of role player-ish type guy, and he does what he needs to get them the W's, and they have to, and they are close to qualifying, and I think they will. So I'm going to have Immortals be the last team that qualifies, which means that in round 4, in round 4, the people that are going to qualify are Optic Gaming, Dignitas, and, of course, Immortals, which gives us Godsent, FaZe, and we need 3 more, right? Wait. What does that mean? Am I tripping here? So currently, tomorrow... Wait, what am I missing here? I'm missing something. I have to be, right? I don't know. Whatever. Those are my predictions for round 4. I might make a round 5 prediction, but I think it's tomorrow as well, so might have to be on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is at this. It should be. So yeah, just go follow that if you want to follow me on Twitter. Yesterday, or round 3 today, actually. Round 3, I had 8 out of 8 predictions correct. Felt kind of good about that. But yeah, it was slightly easier to predict than round 4 in my opinion. So yeah, whatever. Hopefully I get another 5, correct, right? Because we have 5 matchups. No, we have 6. 6 matchups, correct. Yeah, we're going to have 6. Right, we're going to have 3 survive, and then we're going to have 3 qualifying, of course. Yes, that is going to be it. Wait. I might be incorrect. I don't know. Wait, let's see. Let's see, actually. Let me actually... So the 5th round... What would that be? Oh, of course, because the people that lose that don't... Right, so they're going to play... Sure thing. Yeah. All right, I'm stupid. Whatever. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah. Subscribe, like, do all that fun jazz if you want. I don't really care. Follow me on Twitter if you like, what the hell I'm doing. Yep. Peace.